Hey guys, and welcome to this week's episode of What I've Learned, a weekly YouTube or live streamed show where I share some of what I've learned this week in PE with you. Now, I know it has been a little bit of time since I've done a What I've Learned, and I really do apologize for that. Things have been crazy, to say the least, between teaching, between the fact that my wife is due with our baby at any point in time now. It could be 5 minutes, could be a week, and also had some bad news in regards to my dad. Lost my dad really suddenly, which was a very sad thing, but it has contributed to meaning that I haven't had a lot of time to do these What I've Learned shows. So basically, if you're new to What I've Learned, what it is a show where I share what I've learned about my week, or my last few weeks, I guess, in this case, in teaching physical education. I am a physical education teacher currently based in Singapore at ISS International School, soon to be moving to British Columbia, Canada, where I am looking for some work as a physical education teacher as well. So I'm a practicing phys ed teacher. I also run the website iPhys-Ed.com, and you can find all of the information about the types of things I do in my physical education program at that website. So this week I wanted to give a bit of an update about what's been happening in my classes over the last few weeks. So since last we spoke, I've been working on an invasion games unit with my grade 2s and 3s, and with my grade kindergartens and grade 1s we've been looking at some very basic striking and fielding games. Now, in the invasion games unit, we've been looking at the idea of being able to maintain possession of an object, so being able to pass the ball around in a team and control it. We've also been looking at creating space, trying to find space, and then if you're defending, trying to block space. So we've been working on lots of different activities, building up 1-on-1, 2-on-1, 3-on-1, 4-on-1, 5-on-2, lots of different even-sided and odd-sided activities. Giving students the opportunity to explore how a team might work really well together, as well as work out ways to stop other teams. So some of the assessment tasks that we've been doing during that unit, we've been using the passing and catching peer assessment. So if you haven't seen this one before, that one is on the website iPhys-Ed.com. You can download it and use it. But basically what it is players are watching some of their peers play, and they're making tally marks every time they see one of two things. They're making a tally mark every time they see somebody pass it to someone who is open and unmarked, or a tally mark every time they see that person pass it to someone who is marked. So we're looking at, can students make good decisions? Do they know who to pass it to? So at the end of the game, they're looking at those tally marks, they're totaling up the scores of how many passes went to people that were blocked and how many passes went to people that were open, and then they're giving them a total score here, and then at the very bottom giving them some feedback. The website is iPhys-Ed.com, iPhys-Ed.com, and you can check out all of the stuff there. You can download this template there at the end. So that's our passing and catching template. The students were using that, and we were trying to get them to see that we really wanted them to be able to pass to people who were open. So that was one assessment we did. Another assessment that we did just this morning was using our game maps. And again, you can download these templates on the website. Here are some examples of my students doing it this morning. So this was the game space that the players were using, and what they were doing was every time the player got the ball, they were putting an X as to where on the court that person was standing when they got the ball. This is the most basic way of using this game map. What I have done with this before as well is have students draw lines and just follow one player around so that we can see sort of whereabouts in the court that player moves. But in this case, we were just looking at where were they standing when they got the ball. That's a lot easier for some of the younger students to deal with. This was a grade 3 class. I'd probably build on this next time by asking them to put a mark where they were when they received the ball. So the X is where they received the ball, and then maybe draw an arrow coming out of the mark showing where they passed it so that we can see a little bit more information. And then maybe even with another color, another time actually drawing lines and showing where they ran on the court so we can see whereabouts in the playing area they did the most work in the game. And then basically the whole idea between both of these assessment pieces is getting students to think about what's happening within the games. If we can get them to think about their involvement in the game and whereabouts they're getting the ball, what they're doing when they have the ball, hopefully that will help them to be more successful in terms of the way that they are participating in the sport, in the game, and they're trying to understand where they should go and what they should do when they have the ball. For me, invasion games, like I said, here's another example. You can see this player did a lot of their work in the defensive end, so probably we can make an assumption that this player was a more defensive player. They weren't really moving forward into the attacking end. They only went forward of the center half the 2 times out of the whole game, and a lot of their possession was here in the defensive area. So what I'm trying to get my students to understand when they're doing these invasion games is hopefully the idea that they're making good decisions. We're trying to assess their decision-making process, and we're also trying to assess their skill execution. So both of these at the moment are probably looking more at that decision-making process, and then we look into some other assessments as to skill execution. So maybe as a teacher, what I'd be doing is using something like a game performance assessment instrument or a team sport assessment protocol template, and looking at, okay, do they actually make successful passes? Are the passes that they're making successful skill executions? So that's a little bit about the invasion game stuff that's happening at the moment. Like I said, these are 2 assessments that I've done. You can download these on the website, iPhys-Ed.com, and you can start using them in your lessons straight away. Other stuff that's been happening at iPhys-Ed.com is we've launched our course, our online course, our Creating Game Animations with Keynote online course, and it's been an amazing response. We've got about 20 people who are signed up and doing the course at the moment, and it's been really, really cool to see them doing it. So if you're interested in doing that, iPhys-Ed.com/learn, and you can find out all about that course. You can sign up for it. So that's about all that's been happening at the moment. Looking forward to becoming a dad very, very soon. Probably will mean that I won't do another one of these, what I've learned, for a little while. But anyway, that's what's been up with me. Hope everyone's doing well. Looking forward to seeing stuff from the SHAPE conference in Boston coming up, and hearing from everybody. But for now, that's what I've learned this week, and I'll see you guys later.